So, first thing I want to get into here. You ever have like that person in your life who they're spoiled, but they just don't quite understand that they're spoiled? Like, they will complain about things. And I'm not talking about like the exaggerated, like, everyone makes jokes about like, oh, my dad only got me a BMW for my 16th birthday. Jeez, what a prick. Not that person. But the person who's genuinely spoiled and just doesn't get it. Okay. Apparently, a lot of those people turn out to be baseball fans. I didn't know this. But I now know this because you know what the number one trending story in baseball is? I thought this was great. They're hitting too many home runs in Major League Baseball. That's the number one story. Not only is it they're hitting too many home runs, now the side note of that is people are questioning, well, are the players juiced? Okay, I get it. We're coming off the steroid era. That has some legitimacy. And now we're hearing, are the baseballs juiced? That one's good. Yeah, no, this is happening right now. So before I get into the baseballs being juiced, which I think is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. When did too many home runs actually become a bad thing? Even if you don't know a thing about baseball, and I have a lot of people that don't know a thing about baseball, the phrase girls love the long ball or chicks dig the home run, like, that's been around forever. 100 years before me, it'll go on 100 years after me. So now we hit too many and it's a problem? I get it when all of the reports came out and the steroid era was exposed, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, they were cheating. You know who didn't complain though? Everybody who watched the games. Because it was exciting. It was fun. It wasn't sitting around for 3 hours going, okay, well, it's 1-0. Oh, well, it's 2-1. No one likes those games. I love it. People always say, oh, well, baseball purists love a great pitching duel. Yeah, you love a great pitching duel. And then you want to see some offense score the next 2 or 3 games. No one would watch the sport if every single game was 1-0, 2-1. We just wouldn't. I don't care who you are. You just wouldn't do it. And don't tell yourself that you would, because you're lying. Too many home runs hit, huh? Let's look at some interesting things. They say that there's too many guys having uppercut swings, hitting for power, not hitting for average. And that, if you're a fundamentalist, you just don't like that. Well, I think you're full of shit. Try to cut down on my swear words. You know what's a really good storyline? And I've talked about both of these in last week. Aaron Judge is a great storyline. Cody Bellinger is a great storyline. They both lead their respective leagues in home runs. They're both rookies. Scooter Gennett, who was a trending topic for about a 24-hour span, who's a 5'10 reserve infielder who most people wouldn't even care about or even know existed outside of immediate family, he had a 4-home-run game. That was cool. Clayton Kershaw, who is the greatest pitcher on the planet, is, if you could ever input like old school PlayStation 2 cheat codes into a human being, he is up, down, X, triangle, square, triangle. And he just wins the game. He's given up a career at home runs. You know why that's great? Because if you like David versus Goliath, and you like the David part of it, I know there's a few people who like the Goliath part because they're sick human beings. You like the David part of it, that's great. You get to see these guys on this dude who seems impossible and almost takes the energy out of the other team. Players, fans, managers, coaches. You get to see him get roughed up. That's great. Madison Bumgarner is my favorite one. Madison Bumgarner still leads pitchers in home runs, and he's only played once. But he hit 2 home runs on opening day. That's great. Why did all the spoiled kids that don't know they're spoiled grow up to become baseball fans? Why is it such a bad thing that we're getting all these home runs? You can make a case, yeah. Sometimes it muddies up the game when you get these, like, I watch a lot of Rockies games, like when you get these 13-11, 14-12 games. Yeah, you could say that kind of muddies it up and it's not fun. But not if you're at the ballpark. Not if you're actually watching the game. If you're actually at the ballpark or watching the game, you're having a hell of a time. Now let's get into the stupidest thing of all time, which is the baseballs being juiced. I'm going to repeat that one more time. The baseballs, people believe, are being juiced. You know, I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories in my life. I think if you're around my age group, you've heard a fair share of conspiracy theories in your life. And we'll even exclude conspiracy theories that are like pre-internet, because some of those ones are a little more weird. I get it. Information didn't travel as fast. Information, not everyone had access to an iPhone and could just go on there and be like, all right, Google, like you could Google literally, what's the president doing, right? I don't know, though, where people draw the line on what sense does it make to juice a baseball. Think about this from like two aspects really quick here. The business sense, which is if you are juicing the baseballs, the contract baseball has had with its partner has been producing baseballs for 110 years. And baseball is such a stickler for its rules that even if it was breaking the rules, once it was found out, it would have to do everything in its power to change its public perception and immediately cut ties. And I'm drawing a blank here on the brand name. But you're telling me that as a business, you have a contract with a $1 billion partner who's paying you excess millions of dollars and you're willing to jeopardize it to juice a few baseballs? What? Part two, once again, why the hell do we care? It is an entertainment thing. I get the ethics and morality, and like people sit there and like people are so fickle about ethics and morality in this thing because, like I said, during the steroid era, everybody loved it. Everybody loved Mark McGwire. Everybody loved Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa was damn near a deity in Cuba. I mean, he could walk on water. He could cure the blind. Anything that was wrong, Sammy could fix it. Because he was hitting 60 home runs a year. It was great. Mark McGwire, same thing. I mean, the man could, he let them tell it, he probably delivered 3 babies before making it to the ballpark. Because he was hitting 60 home runs a year. The pure thought that there's too many home runs being hit and it's bad is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. No, I'm sorry. Take that back. The baseball is being juiced is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. But too many home runs being bad for baseball is right up there. I mean, let's just go back to Bush did 9/11. I mean, like, if my head just hurts.